Okay, right. Yoga today is going to be off of our wrists. That's what we're going to do today. So let's get started. We're going to start laying down because that's pretty far away from our wrists. If you would like to use a cushion or something soft, a soft block, to open up the chest, then or the front body, we can do that. So if you don't want to do it, just lay down flat. If you do, then pop down something soft underneath your back, kind of thinking about the midpoint of the back, and lay yourself down. If you have a sensitive lower spine, then keep the feet flat so the knees to the ceiling, just because that'll take some of the pressure off. And then once you're here, you can always bring those knees together and the feet slightly wider apart if the knees are to the ceiling. And if you are super happy and your back is perfect, then you can extend the legs away and really feel into that openness through the chest. Okay, so we're just going to pause here and just start to kind of feel into the presence. So up to you, you can take the hands down by the side of you with the palms up. You can take a hand to the chest and the tummy to just really start to feel that physical movement of breath. And we're just going to start to breathe in and breathe out. So the object of this is just to allow the day to start to disappear. Beginning to allow that relaxation to settle in, starting to feel the heaviness into the body, turning the gaze inwards towards yourself, your feelings, your breath, breathing in and breathing out. I'm going to get started with some even breathing. If my pattern doesn't match yours, then do your own. So here we go. Let's take an inhale for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing that attention firmly in on the breath, noticing that rise and fall of the inhales and the exhales. Feeling the connection points between you and the mat. Maybe the softness of the fabrics, maybe the coolness of the mat, maybe the heaviness of the body. And then with your mind open to the session, starting to think about an intention for today's practice. Begin to cultivate it. Start to bring it into the mind's eye. Hold on to it there. And then letting it go. Going to slowly just remove the cushion or the block from underneath you. Just move it to one side. And then just allow the body to sink down into the mat. You'll feel quite a difference here. So really enjoying that heaviness rather than that feeling of being suspended on a cushion or a soft block or a bolster, just allowing that body to really melt down and contact the mat. From here, let's just lift the feet from the mat. Knees are above the hips. Take the hands to the knees. We're going to bring the knees in towards us, take them wide, send them away. So just moving through some of that hip mobility, Just allowing that movement. The further away you take those knees, the more your core is going to have to work. So I will let you be the judge of that today. And then when you're ready, taking it in the other direction, push the knees away, take them wide, bring them back in. And then when you're ready, pause, bring the knees together, draw those knees in towards the chest and the forehead to the knees. Create yourself into a tiny ball. And then release. Let's take the feet flat. I'm going to take the arms wide and then drop the knees down towards that right side, using a block to bring the floor to you if that's more comfortable. Taking the gaze to the left side. Enjoying those nice deep breaths. And the inhales and then the exhales. Perhaps the knees come a little bit closer towards the floor with the exhales. When you're ready, bring the knees back to center, gaze to center, and then let knees lower down to the left side, gazing over towards the right. Using that breath. Inhale and exhale. Knees coming closer towards the mat. And then knees come back, gaze comes back towards the ceiling. From here, just bringing that right knee in towards you and extending that left leg away. Interlace the fingers just below that right knee. Extend that left heel towards that front wall and then start to push through that right heel too. Okay. And then we're going to release the grip, take that right leg up towards the ceiling, take the hands away from you so you're nice and open across the chest, push through that right heel. The core has to engage to keep yourself nice and stable. We're going to take that right heel down and then lift. We're going to just do 10 of these. Lower down and lift for 2, and lift for 3, lift for 4, lift for 5, lift for 6, lift for 7, lift for 8, lift for 9, lift for 10. From here, take the hands behind the knee, interlace those hands, and then begin to just bring the nose towards the knee as you just lift the shoulders and the head from the mat. And then lower down. Take that right foot down. Okay, extending the right leg away. Let's lift that left leg this time, hands down. Extend that left heel towards the ceiling. Find to take a bend through the knee if that feels good. Depends how tight those hamstrings are. And then we take that left heel down and we lift for 1, for 2, for 3, for 4, for 5, for 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take the hands behind, interlace those fingers, and then begin to just lift through the head and chest, or head and shoulders, bringing that nose towards the knee, pushing through both heels, maybe lifting that right heel off of the floor if you want to add a little bit of extra challenge. Right heel comes down if it was lowered, lifted, sorry, and then the head comes down. Bring both knees in towards the chest, and then make nice little circles on the lower back. And then take it in the other direction too. Okay, when you're ready, take the feet flat, tickle the backs of the heels so we know they're roughly where they should be. Knees are hip distance apart. From here, we're just going to start with some pelvic tilts. So the hands are down and we're just rocking the pelvis forward and backwards. It's going to need a little bit of core engagement here. Just tuck the chin ever so slightly down towards the chest to keep a nice long neck. And then we start to rock the pelvis just a little bit higher. Just lifting the bottom off of the mat. Working into the glutes, pushing down through the heels. And then lifting a little bit higher again, coming up to the midpoint of the back. As we lower down, see if you can place each vertebrae one at a time. Coming up towards the shoulders. Again, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. And then staying at the shoulders, pausing there. Okay. From here, lifting those hips, squeezing the glutes, thinking about those shins moving towards the front wall and pushing down through those heels. We're going to lower the bottom down and squeeze to lift. We're going to go for 10. Lower down, squeeze to lift for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Keep it lifted. By it, I mean your bum. Okay, we're going to take the right leg towards the ceiling. And we're going to tap the toe down for 1, for 2, for 3, for 4, we'll stop at 5, for 5, switch out, right foot comes down, left leg lifts. We're going to take the toe down for 1, 2, 3, keeps the hips level, for 4, and for 5, take the left foot down. From here, find your bridge nice and strong, and then roll down each vertebrae. One at a time, take your time here, really feel into it. When you're down, just windscreen wiper those legs from side to side. If that doesn't feel great for you, you can always come into a ball. Okay. When you're ready, knees back towards the ceiling. Bring those knees to chest and then rock and roll the spine. And then cross those ankles. Find yourself on your shins. That's the word. We're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to take our strap if you have one. We're going to sit back into the heels, engage the core just ever so lightly, but giving us that really nice long spine and stable core. Okay, so to start with, we want to think about our posture. We're going to forget what's happening with the toes. It doesn't always feel good. We're going to take the hands to the ceiling. If this feels really intense for you, whatever's happening with your feet at the moment, just take the weight into the hands. You don't have to do this strap bit. But if you're happy to, we're just going to take the hands down and then pass them all the way behind us. Make the strap as long as you need to make that comfortable. I don't want you to be clunking into your shoulder joints. I just want to find that full range of motion as you come over the top. Start to take the gaze down towards the knees, chin coming down towards the chest so we can keep a really lovely long spine. And then let's see if you've got the coordination. We're going to start to take the gaze up towards the ceiling and open through the throat. Keeping that core engaged. See, I bet you've pretty much forgotten about what's going on with your feet right now. Okay, when you're ready, take the hands to the mat. Tap those toes out nice and carefully. Might be a little bit sensitive. Okay, this time we're going to take the shoelace side of the feet down, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to have our strap in a moment. We're going to take the hands behind us, take the fingertips to the back of the room, roll those shoulders back and down, and then begin to lift the chest. As we lift the chest, we're going to just begin to open through that front body. Try not to crunch into that lower spine. So we really want to be thinking about lifting. It's always fine to use a block to bring the floor to you. Okay, coming all the way back. From here, take the hands so the fingertips are facing the front wall now. And then just ever so slightly lift those knees up off of the mat. Find that stretch down the ankles. If you're happy to remove the hands, okay, if you've got the balance for it and you feel happy, we can take the right hand down and we can lift the left arm up and begin to reach that left arm up and over the top, coming into a side body stretch whilst we're forgetting about the ankles. Our core is going to have to work hard to keep it stable. Switch over, left hand comes down, right arm is going to lift. Bring that strap down so that right hand or right arm can come all the way over. Okay, releasing off. From here, bring the hands down, find to spider up the fingertips, lifting those palms, just tap those toes out. And then from here, we're going to take that right leg, we're going to pass it over the top of the back of the left knee, okay? So if you were sitting the right way around, you'd be cross-legged, all right? So right leg is going to come over the top of that left leg. Sit yourself down to a point where you start to feel that stretch through the outside right glute. Use the hands to push down into, and the bottom pushes back towards that back wall. Okay, let's switch out. Take that right knee back. This time round, that left leg is going to lift. The knee crosses over the top of that right leg. And then sit yourself back just a little bit until you start to feel that stretch into the left glute and outside of the thigh. Okay. From here, walking those hands back and then uncrossing those legs. Okay, here we go. From here, tuck the toes. We're going to bring ourselves up to a, I want to say squat position, but it's not that. We're going to take those, we're going to hover on our toes. We're going to see how much balance we have as we start to push towards the ceiling. So engage that core. Make this the most stable version of yourself. Okay, you can take the hands out as balance, maybe into cactus arms, lots of options here. And we're going to start to push down through the toes. Keep the heels lifted. Ooh, keep that core switched on, focusing in on something that's not moving. And then we're going to start to lower down again. See if we can keep those heels lifted. Nice. All right, see if we can do it again. Here we go, engage that core. Imagine that cord from the crown of the head really coming to its own right now. All right, take a step forward to the front of your mat. From here, take the arms high. Separate them out at 45-degree angles. I'll face you so you can see me. And then from here, we're going to take those hands over towards the right side as we begin to lift through that left side. Okay, reaching those hands up. From here, we're going to close the leg off for 1 and open. That core is going to have to work really hard. We're going to do 5, for 2, for 3, for 4, and for 5. Come back into your star. Nice. Okay, come back to center. Shake those arms out, move through the shoulders. All right, here we go. Come back, take those arms to 45-degree angles. Then we start to lift through that right leg. We start to just tilt down over that left side. As we do, Get your balance nice and strong, focusing on something that's not moving. Bring that right heel to left and open for 1. Gonna go for 5, for 2, for 3, for 4, and for 5. Nice job. Bring it back to center. Shake those arms off. Okay, bring those arms nice and high. Come and sit down into your totally forgotten chair. Oh gosh. Bring the arms high alongside the ears. Sit that bottom down. Tuck the tailbone down. Sink a little lower. If you want the added challenge, you can put a block between the knees. If you want to have something to squeeze, you'll be feeling that on your inner thighs. Really nice thing to do. Okay, so from here, take the hands to heart center. We're going to twist round to the right hand side. Come back to center. Bring the arms high. Sit yourself back down again. Bring those arms alongside the ear. Hands to heart center. Take a twist round to the left. Keep that tailbone tucked under. Come back to center. Bring the hands back high. All right, sit back into your chair. Keep those arms lifted. Tuck the tailbone. Sink down. Hands to heart center. Take a twist to the left. This time, left hand comes down. Right arm is going to lift. Draw that chest all the way round. Take a nice breath here and then release. Okay. From here, coming back to your center, lift those arms. Hands to heart center, take a twist to the left side. Right hand comes down, left arm is going to lift. Bring the chest round, take the gaze to the ceiling if it feels good. And then come back round. Lift through the arms, hold it here for 5, 4, tuck the tailbone, 3, 2, 1. Lift those arms high, pedal out those heels, find a little bit of movement through the legs. Okay, from here we're going to go again, but we're going to come into a high lunge next time, okay? I need all your strength. All right, so here we go. Arms come high. Sit down into your chair, tuck the tailbone, weight to the heels, hands to heart center. This time round, take the elbow to the left hand knee, bring the chest around. Then, once we're here, hover the heel on the left side. Take a large step back with that left foot. Push the hands together, draw the chest round a little bit more. Push back with that back heel. Think about the left kneecap moving towards the ceiling. Left hand can come down, right arm can lift. Take a breath. Hands back to center. Really push those hands together to get a little bit more movement through the ribs. Bring the left knee down. Untuck the toes. Take a moment. Doesn't feel quite so hard now, does it? From here, bringing yourself back round. We're going to take the hands high, interlace the fingers, release the pointer fingers, inhale, lift the chin to the ceiling, and then draw a line with those pointer fingers towards the back of the room, lifting through the chest. Start to move those hips forward and down. Find a beautiful stretch through that front hip flexor. Releasing the hands. If you have a block to hand, take that block down by the right hand side. We're going to lift the left arm and then bring that left arm all the way over to find a side body stretch. Bring the chest around to the left side just a little bit. Start to feel that left hip flexor getting a deep stretch there. And then if you've got a little bit more, bring that left foot in towards the bottom. Take the hand to the foot and really sink down into those hips. Feel free, carry on using that block for stability. Give you a little bit more confidence to move a little bit deeper. Okay. Releasing the foot, bring the weight back over that left knee. Take the toes on the right side to the ceiling. Take the hands to hips so that you know those hips are level, and then begin to take a forward fold. We want the chin or the nose coming towards the top of the mat and a lovely long spine. With every inhale, think about getting a little bit longer in the spine. And then with every exhale, see if you can fold just a little bit more. Okay, bringing that right foot flat. We're going to swap the block over because we'll want that in a moment. From here, we're going to take the hands down, untuck the toes, lift through the back knee. From here, bring left foot to right, coming to the top of your mat. Hands are down. We're going to take a half lift. Take the hands to the shins, lengthen through the spine. Keep the gaze down, keep a lovely long neck. Exhale, lower down. Take the chest towards the thighs. Lengthen through the back of the legs. Start to swing like a rag doll, walking those hands from left to right. And then when you're ready, bend through the knees. Start to move up each vertebrae as you come up to standing. And then bring the arms high, reach up out of the waist, and then sink down into your chair. Tuck the tailbone, sink a little lower, and the weight into the heels. Hands to heart center. Take a twist around to the left-hand side. Right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Hands push together to give you a little bit of leverage to bring the chest around. Keep breathing. Okay. From here, let's take the heel up on the right side. And then either lots of little steps or one big step back. Find a high lunge. Push back with that right heel. Lift that kneecap towards the ceiling so we have a strong back leg. Push those hands together, bring the chest round. Maybe right hand comes down, maybe left arm begins to lift. Maybe the gaze comes towards the ceiling. Test your balance. Okay, we're going to take that back knee down, bring those hands back, untuck the toes. From here, we're going to take the hands up high, interlace those fingers and release the pointer finger. Fingers, inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, extend that chest to the ceiling and then begin to take a little back bend, bringing those fingertips towards the back of the room. It's a small movement, this back bend, but it is purposeful. It is controlled. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. Okay, releasing the hands. Left hand comes to the block. Right arm lifts. Inhale, lift those fingertips to the ceiling and then take a side bend. Fingertips come over to the left-hand side. Start to open that chest up towards the ceiling. Thinking about that front hip flexor, really allowing it to open. And then if you have space, always option to use a strap to hook the foot if you would prefer. You can bend in that right foot, grab the shoelace side with the right hand, and then allow that really nice quad stretch to happen as you move those hips forward and down. Relaxing into the shoulders, allowing that openness through that lower half of the body. Okay, releasing the foot, taking your weight back over that right knee this time, using a block if you have one available to you. Take the toes on the left side to the ceiling, hands to hips to make sure those hips are nice and level before we start. Inhale, lift, lengthen, create the longest spine you can. As you exhale, fold and hinge from the hips, bringing chin towards the top of your mat. Exhale, get a little bit lower. Finding that lovely stretch down the back of that left leg. And then bringing that left foot flat. Okay, getting rid of the block. I don't think we'll need it for a moment or two. Take the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift through the back knee. From here, we're going to take that right foot to the top of the mat to join the left. Okay, hands to shins, take a half lift and lengthen. Take the gaze down towards the front of the mat so that you have a lovely long neck. And then take a hinge from the hips, forward fold. From here, we're going to take a large step back with that left foot. We're then going to walk the hands around, so we're now on the long edge of the mat, so the feet are parallel to the short edge. All right, so start to push those sides of the feet down into the mat. We want to push the sit bones back towards the back wall. We're going to take the hands down, take an inhale. As we do take a half lift, imagine that length of the spine as long as you can get it. The gaze is at the top of your mat. The neck is long and the sit bones are heading towards the back wall. Walk the hands over to the right hand side. Take a side stretch here. Right arm is going to lift. Maybe takes the comes around to touch the top of that left thigh. From here, that right hand's going to come back down. Bend through that right knee. Take the toes on the left side to the ceiling. Use a block underneath that right heel, just to give you a bit of stability, unless your heel is flat, and then bravo, well done. Right hand's going to come down. Left arm lifts. Start to open the chest to the ceiling. As you sink down nice and low, finding that stretch through the inner thigh on that left leg. Nice opening through that left side body. Nice deep breaths in and out. And then switching up. Take that block over to the left side. Hands come down, lift up. Take a moment. Take a half lift. Lengthen through the spine. Left hand, hands come over to the left foot. Take a moment here, take a breath. And then that left arm is going to lift. Maybe left hand comes around to touch the top of the right thigh. Just rolling that left shoulder there. And then here we go, left hand comes back. Bend into that left knee, right toes to the ceiling. Use your block underneath the heel if the heel isn't flat to the floor. Left hand comes down. Reach right hand to the ceiling. Begin to open the chest up. Take a breath. Inhale and exhale, opening through that right side body. And then just allow the release. Okay, releasing that block away. Coming back into your wide-legged pose. Heel toe those feet in. Find a goddess as you take those toes out to the opposite corners of the mat. Open through the thighs, and we want our knees and ankles under one another. Nice and open through that front body. Bring those arms into cactus arms. Taking that right elbow down and lift. Left elbow down and lift. Coming to the toes. Gosh, that's taking a lot of concentration from me. Heels come back down. This time we're going to lift Extend and lower, nice and low. Lift, extend and lower. Last one here. Lift and then see how low you can get. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands come down, heel toe those feet in, bring the bottom down. Up to you if you want to just remain in a static squat. If you like to be a little bit more fluid, then please do roll over each foot, just find that opens through the hips. Please think about that length of the spine. So if you find that you're all crouched over, what you want to do is use a block to either sit on or put underneath your heels, just to give you that nice long spine. Props are our friends. Honestly, they really are. You're going to hang out here just for a moment. Nice opportunity to come back to our intention whilst we're sat here. And then slowly and carefully, just allowing the bottom to come down to the mat, taking the legs along. And then if you want to come back into the position that you started today, so if you want to use a cushion or a soft block or a bolster underneath to lift and open the chest, then please do. But I'll just give you a moment or two just to find your final Savasana, however you want to rest at the end of class today. Just taking a moment, have a drink, hop on a jumper, settle into the breath, into that feeling of having worked, and now allowing the body to accept the relaxation that it deserves. Today's going to be a body scan. So I want you just to start with, just to close off those eyes or soften the gaze. And just simply breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. As always, we start at our foundations. We're at the feet. Just noticing where those toes are pointing. Maybe they've fallen out in relaxation. Potentially they are still feeling a little bit of tension. If that's the case, then just wiggle those toes. Maybe a sway of the ankles, and then just reset. Allow them to drop out to opposite corners of the mat. And then as we work up the body, we focus in on those contact points to the mat, the backs of the legs. We work up towards the hips, the heaviness of the hips. We take a nice deep inhale here, and as we exhale, release and sigh through the mouth, send that breath to the hips, grow heavier, sink further down. One more inhale here. Nice deep inhale, imagine lengthening on the mat, and as you exhale, that breath goes straight to the hips. Sigh it away. Moving up the body, up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Imagine lengthening that cord from the crown of the head, just lifting, creating space, undoing all of the damage we do day in, day out, poor posture. And now we're just allowing our body to be. We come to the shoulders and we make our way down the arms. Again, the contact points between the skin and the mat. We end at the hands, those fingertips gently curled in. Starting to make our way back up the arms now, back to the shoulders, and then up the neck. Lengthen as you travel the neck, making your way all the way to the crown of the head. And there we are. We come over the top of the crown to the forehead, and we're placed right between the eyebrows. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, allow those eyebrows to just separate back where they belong. Now over the nose to the lips, maybe gently parted, maybe the tongue's curled back, maybe a gentle smile can just creep into the corners of the mouth. And then whilst you're here, I'd like you to come back to your intention from the beginning of class today. Celebrate it, acknowledge it. Take a moment right there with it. And then, knowing that it is time to start to bring our awareness back to the wider world. Start to wiggle those toes and those fingertips. Bring those arms above the head and start to pulse through one side of the body, lengthening, and then the other. Finding that length on the mat. Sealing your practice for today, being grateful for the time that you have given yourself. And then when you're ready, you can slowly and carefully come back up to a seated position, and I will be there.